you for joining us here in time for New Vision TV News. My name is Lynn Komjisha. Here are some of the stories we're working on.
The minister has tipped Ugandans on Rwanda border. A man has died at Kigo prison. And one person has drowned in River Muzizi. In sports, Express FC has lost again.
Hello there once again. Thank you for joining us. We come to you from the New Vision newsroom. In news around Uganda, the Minister of State for Internal Affairs, Mario Biga Kania, has advised Ugandans to take care and follow regulations. This follows the killing of into Rwanda Sunday morning. Uganda has protested the killings, and in a statement signed by the government spokesperson Ofono Pondo and sent to Rwanda's High Commissioner to Uganda, Major General Frank Mugambaje, Uganda says the alleged crime of smuggling cannot justify the high-handed and criminal acts by the Rwandan security personnel against unarmed civilians residing along the common border. Meanwhile, the bodies of the killed Ugandans were handed over to Ugandan authorities Tuesday at Kamwezi border point in Buzuba Sel Kasheche Parish, Kamwezi sub-county. Moving on, Chituka, who was detained on October 16th over land-related matters, died from Kigo prison. According to Olive Nakate, a widow to the deceased, court had ordered Chituka to refund 8.8 million shillings of being imprisoned for 3 years. Nakate said that before his death, she had finished all the paperwork to secure a loan for his release, but when she contacted the prison warders Monday, they said Chituka had died of a heart attack and told her to pick the body from Mulago Hospital. Today, 2 people, including a Ugandan Indian of origin, have been charged with embezzlement of 28.8 billion shillings at the Anti-Corruption Court in Kampala. Kotecha Hemal and Innocent Tugume appeared before the Chief Magistrate Pamela Munion denied the charges. It is alleged the deal between September 1st and 30th, 2017, last year received petrol, diesel, lubricants worth 28.8 billion shillings, believed to have been stolen from Total Uganda Limited. The two bring the number to 5 people who are charged with the same offense. The first 3, who are employees of Total Uganda Limited, were charged on Friday last week before Grade 1 Magistrate Moses Nabende. They include Moses Sebalu, the Total Senior Accountant, Belinda Nakasi, the taxation accountant, and Priscilla Nancy Kombi, the cashier. The Chief Magistrate yesterday released the suspects on a 20 million shillings cash bail each after ruling that the sureties were substantial. The sureties were directed to execute a non-cash bond of 800 million shillings. The court directed each accused person to deposit a land title and a valid passport in court as security. Heavy rains have cut off muddy passengers plying Moyo Gulu Road. The passengers were forced to spend the night on the road after heavy rain swept away bridges and other alternative roads. Trucks were seen stuck close to Pakele Town Council between Adjumani and Atiak, forcing Kampala-bound buses from Moyo to spend Tuesday night in Adjumani town. Now, one person drowned in River Muzizi with his motorcycle. The missing person has been identified as Peter Tugume Pierre, a resident of Chabinyasi village, Chakazihire sub-county in Chibale district. The motorcycle was retrieved at 5:45 p.m. today, but the person is still missing. News from Bundibujo district and the World Harvest Mission have given out over 100 wheelchairs to persons with disabilities today. While giving the wheelchairs the beneficiaries, Ronald Mutegeki, the local Council 5 chairman Bundibujo, asked them to use them effectively. Uganda, the health ministry said it is developing an implementation plan for the Tobacco Control Act 2015. The law came into force over 3 years ago, but it remains largely unimplemented. The health ministry officials said lung cancer, which is caused by smoking, remains one of the major health problems in the country. The disease can also be contracted through passive smoking. Statistics from the Cancer Institute indicate that new cancer cases are estimated at over 32,000 annually, but only about 6,000 are reported to the Cancer Institute. We'll now take a quick break and return with news in business. Welcome back from that break. You're still watching New Vision TV News. We'll now take a look at news in business.
In business tonight, national carrier Uganda Airlines Monday made its maiden direct flight from Entebbe to Mombasa. The Bombardier CRJ900 jet touched down at the Mombasa International Airport with 74 passengers at 1:05 p.m. The revived carrier is banking on the route 3 flights a week to help boost trade and tourism between Kenya and Uganda. This becomes the 7th route for the airline, which was revived in April with the purchase of the first 2 Bombardier aircraft before embarking on full flight operations on August 27th. The airline now boasts 4 such aircraft and is expecting 2 Airbuses next year. Paul Busharizi, our business analyst, joins us tonight.
I think it's safe to say there are quite a few Ugandans who go to the coast.
Yes.
To holiday or whatever. So it's a logical route to have that route to.
Yes. Is it how long is it though?
I saw the figure. I think they do it in 2 hours.
Oh.
Was it 2 hours? Yeah, I think it was 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Imagine you take
non-stop flight
on the road.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you know, previously you'd have to go stop in Nairobi, then you board again. That's it. But now, if you can do it non-stop, it even saves the risk of your baggage being buggled in Nairobi.
What does this mean? Does it mean the airline is, picking up? How is it doing?
No, well, the original plan, as was told to us, was always that they're going to start with the regional routes.
Yes.
So of course they did Nairobi. I think they do Kigali already.
They did also
Kilimanjaro.
Yes.
Dar es Salaam, I think.
Yes.
Juba, I think. So that's how they're going to build. That's the theory of their network. They're going to build off the regional routes before the bigger planes come, and then they can. Hopefully, they will have built some sort of feeder into Entebbe and fly out.
Wow. I was reading somewhere that it has also these routes have increased number of visitors into Kenya, but this also means that there's something happening to Uganda. What could these routes be doing for the East African region as well?
Well, I think what could be happening, I think it's happening already, is that the cost of flying is going to hopefully come down.
Hopefully, yes.
The Nairobi-Entebbe route was the most expensive route per kilometer at one point. But I think now it's come down because of the competition. So it also means that, as you said, instead of going by bus, I pay a little bit extra for the convenience of getting there faster and not tired and probably can even make the trip back and forth in one day. So yes, we can expect that if people have business in Kenya, which is, we have a lot of traffic that goes into Nairobi, we can expect that there'll be more of it with Uganda Airlines.
Yeah,
it can maintain itself.
Because we have very many business people that go to Nairobi, Mombasa.
Yeah.
Now imagine are the cargo handling situation, is it okay? Are they doing the cargo yet, or is this?
Yeah, I think they're doing their own. They're doing their own. What do you call it? Is it baggage handling? I'm not aware that they've started cargo yet, but I think that's part of their plan. I think with the bigger planes that they will be able to fly cargo far and wide, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that's a good start. Uganda Airlines has started pretty well, and with routes to Mombasa, Nairobi, I think we are going to see a vibrant economy.
Because of the airline?
Yeah, I mean, business people are moving easily and doing their businesses.
Good luck.
You've always been like that. Well, there you have it. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
That was news in business. Now into sport. Express FC from local sport. We look at the Star Times Premier League returns in high gear with Vipers, KCC and Wakiso Giants taking on their opponents. We have more details.
Star Times Uganda Premier League resumed in gear when Bara City FC roared to Ondo Paraka 2-1 in a match played at Kacheka Stadium. The Nkoli Lions earlier this week parted ways with coach Paul Nkata and his backroom staff due to poor performance, and the club replaced him with the announcement of Brian Senyondo, who's making a return to the club. With no more continental matches to worry about, Proline FC attention was seen drawn to now local league, and it managed to get its first win against Bright Stars, that is in the early relegation struggle in the last 5 games before the 6 points were docked from them. And from the Bombo Barrack Stadium, the newly promoted Chetime FC lost their 4th game at home, losing to the Purple Sharks by 3-1. The Wakiso Giants got their 2nd win after sacking their former coach Kefa Kisala due to the club's continuous defeats, who was replaced with Stephen Bengo. The Purple Sharks managed to register its first ever biggest win of the season with 3-1 against Chetime FC at Bombo Barrack Stadium, which leaves the Purple Sharks flying comfortably in the 5th position on the log with goals from Amos Mwonge, Karim Ndugwa and Vian Sekajugo. In other matches played, Luzira Base Club Maroons FC drew with Busoga FC 1-1. Could it be the new pitch, or the bad omens of the legendary club was dramatically beaten 3-1 by the Kasasiro boys in a match played at the Kabaka Chabagu Stadium, Wakiso. Sadat Anaku scored for coach Mike Mutebi's side in the 72nd minute before Mike Mutiaba added a brace, and in the 72nd minute, the hosts scored in their own net. KCC FC, who was without stars Charles Lukwago, Alan Okello and Kasozi Nicholas, who are away for national duty with the Uganda Cranes in Burkina Faso, did not stop the Kasasiro boys to explore the heights to the 5th position on the log. Frank Kalanda converted a penalty kick in the 75th minute for the host side. In another match, Police FC humiliated Toro United FC with 4-0 at Star Times Stadium, Lugogo. Goals for Abdallah Mubiru's side were scored by Samson Chigozi, Ben Ochan and Matovu Moses. In the other game that was played, it was shared points between SC Villa and Bull FC. Vipers FC remained the table leaders with 33 points, followed by Bull FC with 27 points, while Police and Proline FCs remained on the bottom of the table, struggling in the relegation zone with 5 and 4 points respectively. The Uganda Premier League will be returning on Friday 15th.
Interesting sport. Now for a special report, we look at how the fight against corruption is getting tougher in the country. In July, Titus Muhofa, Senior Disaster Management Officer in the Office of the Prime Minister, was charged with embezzling 30.6 million Uganda shillings meant for the purchase of food for refugees displaced from neighboring Tanzania. State Minister for Investment, Evelyn Anita, is under probe over Uganda Telecom Limited, and Judicial Service Commission Permanent Secretary Rose Lukwago Nasali is charged alongside 2 officials with causing financial loss and abuse of office.
There have been other big and small cases, but in the fight against graft, the size of acts of corruption is not the issue. An individual who diverts 1 million shillings or less could gradually develop the appetite to steal huge sums. Therefore, they must be dealt with as harshly as one who carries away billions. It also follows criticism that only small fish are caught as the big ones go scot-free is misplaced on two grounds. One, the so-called small fish could grow into big ones through promotions or joining politics and becoming leaders in their central or local government. There, they continue thieving land while a small fish. Two, the small fish could be the big fish route to the till. So, once cut off, the big fish is starved and probably exposed. Corruption is a big problem, blamed for poor service delivery as money is diverted to individuals' pockets. This deprives the public of services and enriches the few entrusted with the money and duty to serve the country. Not only are the people denied services but also hurt because they contribute to the raising of the money through taxes. Furthermore, corruption kills the incentive to pay tax, which raises another developmental challenge. It has become common for people to ask why they should pay taxes and get no return as the money is stolen. The consequences of corruption are dire. The immediate one is constriction of development, which bears social, economic, and political problems. Some critics say people's voices are suffocated in Uganda, that they cannot talk about issues pressing them. Today, people are freely speaking out against corruption. Some are whistleblowers. This is a big achievement to bolster the fight against the vice. Because they are talking, the corrupt are aware that people now know that corruption is real, and there are some of those who are thriving on it. But the problem is the flip side. Some of the corrupt people who are outside the graft circle long to join the corrupt club. They would quickly take up a government job to eat. This explains why jobs in the remote districts are quickly filled by people with fairly good positions in the private sector or in established urban centers. It could also be tempting for the opposition politicians. Since they are not part of the establishment, they can speak out loudly against corruption. It would perhaps be a different story if they got into power. Kenya is a good example to illustrate this point. When former President Daniel Arap Moi bowed out of politics in 2002, many said it was the end of kleptocracy. But soon, some of the politicians who postured as clean while in the opposition became corrupt overnight. It was their time to eat. From recent reports, corruption is not only in government. There have been reports of the Forum for Democratic Change's failure to account for money provided by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy. The money was for procuring communication equipment, and the institute raised concerns about the accountability. It accused the opposition party of submitting forged receipts. The FDC hit back at NIMD for querying the accountability, saying the institute had acted in bad faith. Insiders say money is the main cause of fallouts in opposition parties, resulting in endless wrangles. It is also the same among other backers, the civil society. Failure to account for funds is easily hushed away in the civil society while they point out the corruption in government. Some of the organizations are said to have turned into family entities, which takes away their moral ground for pointing out corruption in government. Besides, there could be a link between the corrupt on both sides. At the moment, non-government organizations have questioned why the Financial Intelligence Authority is probing them. They say it is a move to gag them. But the authority says it is just doing its job to ensure there's no money laundering. Just like any case of some churches, they do not want their financial records scrutinized. In Uganda, it seems corruption is only fought in government, but tolerated in other non-government entities. The reality, though, is the fight against corruption cannot be left only to the government. All stakeholders must get involved.
That was New Vision TV News. Thank you for watching. Do have a lovely night, and I will catch you next time. I leave you with a fact file.